Hello everybody, and welcome back to our faction breakdown series for Thrones of Britannia. In the last video, we focused on the English kingdoms. Today we'll turn to the Gaelic kingdoms. The Gaelic kingdoms of Circenn and Mide are split up across the map, Circenn over in Scotland, Mide in Ireland. These kingdoms share the legitimacy mechanic, a cultural currency earned through capturing settlements in either factions' respective territories, forging alliances with their fellow cultural factions, as well as reinforcing the armies of your allies. Legitimacy scales between -10 to 100, giving your armies bonuses on the battlefield and increased loyalty as you reach 100. Drop below 0 and of course the opposite will happen. Legitimacy also degrades every turn, encouraging you to complete actions that will keep your legitimacy up. The greatest benefits for increasing legitimacy are twofold. First, as you reach certain thresholds, you'll trigger incidents and dilemmas designed to benefit your kingdom in various ways, from diplomatic increases to large financial gains, provided you spend that legitimacy. Second, legitimacy can be used to annex smaller kingdoms that have your same culture. These two factors can significantly increase your kingdom's standing among the turmoil of thrones. As another trait, both factions' characters start with a higher loyalty and a rather large increase in income to holding church buildings. The Gaelic kingdoms are a bit more unique than the English kingdoms simply because they are developing on different islands, and as such will go over their own units and military later in their own videos. Circenn is based on the east coast of Scotland, having been driven there by the Great Viking Army, but held to that point. As a hardy folk, they'll be able to construct the Souterrain building, allowing their armies immunity to any snow attrition, a welcome attribute in the north. A little bit of narrative goes into the Circenn faction, as the capital Scone, as it's told, once held the Stone of Destiny. As such, you'll receive several missions to take certain settlements, searching for the stone's divine strength, though in what area this strength lends itself to has yet to be discovered. Circenn's military is based around some solid all-around infantry with units such as the Blackblade Swords and Alban Axemen. Its middle and late period spearmen are of high quality, with late spearmen perhaps unlocking some new stances. After all, it is named Skiltron. Support goes a long way with Circenn, as they have wolfhounds and vastly superior missile units like the late period Highland sharpshooters and crossbowmen beginning in the early period. Circenn has some very unique opportunities about it. The narrative drives you to conquer territories, which will increase your legitimacy as well as expand your kingdom. Focusing on settlements with churches in them will give you a big boost to income as well. Wartime won't always be reserved for the good seasons, as building the Souterrain building will allow you to expand during those winter months without the repercussions of winter attrition. Build relationships with Scottish factions, gaining you legitimacy, then annex them later on with the very same legitimacy you gained from them. Play your cards right, and you may only need to take down a few untrustworthy factions by force, the others by integration. When war must be had, it'll be interesting to see just how effective archers and crossbowmen will be in this game. With your high quality spears and some solid swords and axemen, it might be worth playing a bit more defensively, deploying more ranged units than other factions, and letting those superior archers whittle down the enemy. Combined with the arrow in the eye chance of instant takedown that's implemented in Thrones of Britannia, there's a very decent chance your infantry just won't see that much battle. Mide stands high among the factions of Ireland. Many a high king have hailed from Mide, and its current ruler, Flansinna, seeks to hold that title as well. Situated in the very central of Ireland, and with a bonus to diplomacy towards other Irish factions, Mide is very much geared towards either new Total War players or those that just want an easier start. The legitimacy mechanic shared amongst the Gaelic kingdoms will allow Mide to gain a lot of legitimacy through developing allies amongst the Irish factions, and also gaining it through a little bit of war. Mide's unique trait is the Fair of Teltuing, sure I butchered that, which takes place every other summer, hosting games, weddings, and even funerals. Accepting the fair costs you money, but you will receive legitimacy. Refuse to hold the fair and your faction leader will lose influence. Army-wise, Mide features some very decent swordsmen, including the Fianna, a group of semi-independent soldiers, historically aristocratic men and women who had yet to come into the inheritance of land. Late-era infantry also include the Fable Gallowglass, Sharing Scotland's affinity for ranged units, Mide turns to superior javelinmen with kerns and wood kerns, giving devastating short-ranged missile fire. Mide is not only the easier of the two Gaelic factions, it will most likely be the easiest faction of this title. Its diplomatic bonus to other Irish factions, combined with the legitimacy mechanic and the benefits within, means that Mide can potentially consolidate Ireland very quickly, then look to the mainland for further conquest. As for battles, Mide will play slightly different than their Circenn counterparts. Having superior javelin men is a great asset, but playing defensively with short-range missile troops is a bit harder than with long-range archers and crossbowmen. And once you get into the late period, you are able to bring in those Galaglasses and the late-tier swordsmen. You should be able to take on about anyone who stands in your way. And that's it for the Gaelic Kingdoms breakdown. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the factions of Circenn and Mide. Subscribe and turn notifications on to stay up to date with the short series, as well as any future videos. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.